Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call this regular council meeting to order, please. Could I have a motion to adopt the minutes of July 13th, please? Thank you, Councillor Peak, Councillor Holmes. All in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, sorry, it's not on. Are we on? Okay, sorry, maybe I wasn't speaking into it properly. Any changes to the agenda?
There are a couple of corrections.
Okay.
First one being delegations, item 5.2. It's been mistitled. It's actually an update, just an update from Peter Murphy regarding Patrick Murphy, sorry. Patrick Murphy regarding plans for Hunters Hill. Nothing to do with rezoning specifically. That's the first item. Second item is item 11.1 on the agenda. I forgot to highlight that in yellow. During the public comment opportunity, which is item 6 in the agenda, you are welcome to speak to that item. That's item 11.1, the building regulation contravention. And the last thing is bylaw item number 14.1 in the agenda. There's a typo in the actual bylaw. I stated that the public hearing today is on the 27th of June, but I've discovered it is July 27th. So that will be corrected. Actually has been corrected, just wasn't in the agenda.
So I'm not a month out of date. Okay.
Right on time.
Okay, great. Okay, so I have a motion to adopt the agenda, please. Councillor Carlson, Councillor Boot, all in favor? Motion's carried, thank you. Okay, we're on to our item 4.1, the public hearing for bylaw 2014-002, the official community plan 214 as amended. I will now read the public hearing statement. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes. Okay. This public hearing is being held pursuant to Section 3 to 890 of the Local Government Act. The purpose of this public hearing is to consider bylaw 214-002, official community plan 214. During this public hearing, anyone who believes that his or her interest is affected by the proposed development will be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard or to present written submissions respecting matters contained in the bylaw that are the subject of this hearing. All information, correspondence, petitions, and reports that have been received concerning the subject bylaw have been available to the public. Council may ask questions of staff in public, but once the public hearing is over, no new information can be received. Council debate on the bylaw will take place when the bylaw is considered after the conclusion of the hearing. At that time, any questions of staff will be for clarification purposes only. I will be inviting the public to come forward and present their comments. Speakers are asked to clearly state their name and address for the record. Speakers are encouraged to limit their remarks to 5 minutes and should include all of the relevant information in their presentation. Further opportunity will be afforded for all persons to speak a second or third time once all persons have had the opportunity to speak. So that leaves it open for the public to come forward. And if you do, please state your name and address and make your comments. Our planner, would you like to give an introduction to this topic, please?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. Just to refresh everyone's memory, is our current urban growth area shown on the screen there in yellow. The first urban growth strategy bylaw showed the area that's outlined in red as the amended urban growth area. And then following significant public engagement, that was changed to the green area, which is the urban growth boundary that we're looking at tonight. The revisions, the ALR boundary remains unchanged. The Summerland Hills Golf Resort area is being removed from the urban growth boundary. A portion of Victoria Road South is being removed from the urban growth boundary. The Crescent Beach area is being removed, and the Hunters Hill area is being removed. The urban growth area is approximately 50% of its former size. It provides adequate growth for 10+ years into the future and has no impact on the agricultural land reserve. The guiding principles throughout the process were that the urban growth area should identify where additional growth should be. It does not include industrial development, or does not need to, as that's not an urban land use. Does not include land-intensive uses such as golf courses, ski hills, or other recreational type uses. And whether you're in or out of the boundary does not affect your existing zoning rights. So the existing urban growth area, again, is as you see it on the screen, and the revised area we're dealing with tonight is the green on that screen. There's some mapping amendments that go along with that. They include the Summerland Hills Golf Resort area shown there in purple hatch is changing to a combination of open land, agriculture, and resource industrial. And the Jersey land area shown in hatching on the screen there goes to open land. So that is what we're talking about tonight.
Thank you. So, any members of the public who wish to speak to this, please come forward. Thank you, sir. Speak, give us your name and address, please.
Okay, Richard Anderson is my name. I live at 6121 Victoria Road South in Summerland. And just a couple of questions regarding the South Victoria portion of it. There's 2 parcels that would belong to the corporation or the municipality that would be considered for sale for this subdivision, or if it was to be developed. Is that a definite go, or is there a way we can oppose and the community keep those 2 portions, as to maybe make them to parkland at some point in time, as it's an area where it's not really good for building anyhow?
We'll be taking the information in, and then discussion will come later when we're looking at the bylaw.
Okay, that's my one concern, is that area, and I have a water concern, which I already took up with the people at
Okay.
the office, so.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else?
My name is Chris Rutherford, 6407 Lewes Avenue, Summerland, BC. Yeah, I have a big concern about the area that we're at right now. The road that goes into the building right now isn't wide enough, basically to create 2 vehicles going by it. I don't even see how it's even feasible to get up there and put in a 30-unit complex. The trail that's on there right now goes into the back of Glen for school, and everybody uses it for biking and walking, their dogs. The impact that would come from it, just from the wildlife alone, just seems a little bit crazy. That's my concern.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, for a second time, is there anybody else that would like to speak to this issue? And for a third and final time, is there anybody else who would like to speak to this issue? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Debbie Patterson. I'm 6105 Victoria Road South. We've lived in the community for about 5 years now, in that community specifically. There's a lot of wildlife and birds. To put a 30-unit complex up there, we heard that they would have to drill through the mountain. Is that true? Is that something that they would have to do in order to build a 30 complex up there? 30 complex unit?
I won't comment other than the fact that that sounds extremely unlikely.
Is there a builder already available that wants to buy the property?
No, I think what we're doing is getting ahead of ourselves here. We're taking all this information and concerns that you may have, and we'll have a discussion in a little while when we address the bylaw. And these sorts of things you brought
Okay,
to
well,
our attention.
we are 100% opposed to this property, this development. Okay?
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Shauna Perkins. I'm at 6097 Victoria Road South. And I also wanted to state that I'm opposed to this. I'm concerned about the wildlife, the flora, the fauna, the indigenous plants that we have there. And I suspect that this development will, we will lose that opportunity for future generations if we do this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, thank you very much. I declare the public hearing closed, and we will move forward in our agenda. So thank you, everybody. And so we'll move to item 5, which is delegations. We hear from Mr. Paul Richard, please, of Farmers Market.
Hi there. Good day, Mayor, councilors, and staff. My name is Paul Richard. I'm the manager of the Tuesday Farmers Market here in town. I'd like to thank you for your time and consideration in this matter. I believe today we have big challenges to attracting visitors to Summerland and the downtown core, specifically this year as opposed to other years. We have economic challenges that are affecting the visitors that come here from Alberta every year. So I believe that everything that we can do to be proactive to get people in off of the Highway 97 corridor is critically important to us in our community. I've always strived to have win-win situations in business and in life. No one wants to be the loser or come out on the short end of things. The sign that I've had in previous years on the highway is a temporary neon sign. It stated and asked visitors to come to the downtown for a visit and attend the market at the same time that they're visiting our community. Several seasons ago, I heard remarks from the new owner of the vitamin store Emporium, and he stated, I quote, "I don't know what we will do after the market closes in October. It's the best sales we have each week." My daughter currently works at Shoppers Drug Mart, and she told me that sales in her department on Sundays are double last year's sales and previous years before that. And this has only happened since the Sunday market started. And so increasing that volume affects our whole community, our jobs, people that we employ, the money that comes into our community. I took over the market about 8 years ago by acclamation. It was going to die. The previous manager of it had passed away suddenly. And I got nominated to take it over, so I took it over. And when I took it over, there was approximately 8 or 10 vendors. And I had it built up to the point where we had 80 or 90 vendors, and it was actually a talked about event in town and in the valley. And it's taken me a lot of work and expense from advertising and all those other things to build it up to that point. This year is by far the most difficult year that I've had in that amount of time to attract visitors to the market. I have had a temporary neon lettered sign on the highway for all of the years that I have run the market, except this year. Attendance by visitors is down by 75%. This affects the whole community as the visitors not only attend the market, they go for breakfast or lunch when they attend, they shop, they explore our community, but not so much this year. The only thing I'm doing different as far as advertising is the highway sign. I believe that we are ambassadors to our community. I love Summerland. I've lived here for 18 years. When people attend the market, one of the questions that I ask them is, how did you come to be here today? And the most common response I receive is, we saw the sign on the highway and we made it an event that we were going to attend while we were camping locally or we were passing through, and we decided that we wanted to come back on Tuesday to attend this event. City staff have been gracious to include the Tuesday market and the electronic sign. But alas, it's not effective enough. If you're not passing when the message is scrolling by, you don't know what we're doing, when we're doing it. The sign I used to have on the highway informed travelers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you could be traveling by at night, you see the sign, and you could make a plan to come back to our community. A tremendous advantage, in my opinion. So without a new influx of visitors that are passing by each week, we are missing the boat and the opportunity to attract visitors, investors, and business people to showcase our community. We had a realtor at the market in Summerland last year and the year before, and it was amazing the response and the connections that she made for people who were inquiring about purchasing homes in the community or other factors that maybe they would have just passed by us if we didn't draw them in off of the Highway 97 corridor and invite them to come into our community and check us out. I met with Ian and Linda 2 weeks ago, and it was advised to come up with a plan that would allow the city to support the market and not unfairly support an individual business. I'm currently in discussions with the Rotary Club to sponsor the Tuesday market and bring both the Sunday and Tuesday markets under one umbrella. Rock Fortin advised me last Saturday that it will be on the agenda at an upcoming executive meeting of the Rotary. In the short term, I would ask for a temporary solution of a neon lettered sign, and moving forward in 2016 and beyond, we find a more permanent solution rather than having a temporary neon sign on the highway. We still have over 3 months left in this year's season, and the magic time is like from the beginning of July to Labor Day. So we have like 5 weeks of the summer yet to invite whatever tourists that are attending to visit our community and attract people to our town. And in closing, I would also ask that whatever you decide to do with this matter, if anything, that it's time sensitive and the urgency be appreciated by you all. Thanks for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions and take any comments or advice that you may wish to offer us, because I love Summerland, and that's why we moved here, and that's why we chose to raise 4 children in this community. And I love being an entrepreneur and doing my own business, and so I believe that there's no loser. Sometimes people feel that things are a competition. So when we make things a competition, there's a winner and a loser. And the reason that I had the sign taken away before was people couldn't see the big picture of what my vision was to attract people into this community. And too often people will say, well, that person is doing that, why can't I do that? And we can't see the bigger picture, and we shoot ourselves in the foot and don't, you can't see somebody else doing good, and it becomes like a jealousy thing or something that, I don't know. But we had complaints before about the sign, and that's how I ended up taking it up. So in the meeting that I had a couple of weeks ago, it was brought to my attention that the only time we do anything about signage in our community is when we have a complaint. So I looked all over our community at those signs when I was advised again that I couldn't have a temporary neon sign. So whether we've grandfathered those signs that are in our community presently, or we're just choosing to cover our eyes to that situation and not be aware of it, I don't know. But to me, let's bring some common sense into this and do something with our signage bylaw So that I don't advocate that we have 50 or 100 signs along the highway and make it look ugly and not great for our community. But let's be proactive and do things that enhance that and bring people into our community. And let's face it, those people that are traveling that corridor on holidays, you know, they're here for many reasons and they have the money to do whatever they want, because I meet them every week. And I meet a lot of people today that are returning back to our community. They grew up here, they've gone away to work, and they want to come back. So let's welcome them back with open arms to our community of Summerland, rather than have them go someplace else, if that's what we want. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. I'd just like to comment, I hear you 100%, and I've been concerned about signage generally for the markets and for the ability to draw people into the community. And I think what I'm going to try and do, and maybe bring a resolution immediately to call a special meeting of council for this Thursday night to deal with the signage issue and see if we can do something. I do recognize that, you know, it's time is extremely important here. As you say, we've got a very limited time frame to make things better.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I'd like better than to see the downtown businesses be more active. I've had an opportunity to participate and be around more in the Sunday market, for example, and I can't believe the number of people that are showing up. So your example is quite possibly the same. And so I'd urge you to work with Rotary so that we can help you out even more generally.
Yeah.
So thank you, and I'm just checking with our CAO here as to what we need to do. Okay. Can I have a councillor bring a resolution forward, please, to have a meeting this Thursday, 7 p.m. of councillors? Councillor Holmes, thank you. Seconder? Councillor Boot, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. So that's what we'll do, and we'll try and bring some resolution to it.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, our next delegation is Mr. Patrick Murphy of the Hunter Hill detail.
Thank you very much. Ian has equipped me with the remote. Good
I
evening.
wouldn't have
We
given you the remote.
appreciate the opportunity to be here to update Mayor and Council on the Hunters Hill Country Residential Development. The slide that you see there outlines that it's located on 3 titles and it's zoned country residential. Tonight I wanted to overview for you our work to greatly increase the public preservation areas that are already slated for that project. Under this rezoning application that we're updating you on tonight, my family will be transferring ownership of over 75 acres of land to be preserved and protected for future generations of Summerlanders. We're very excited, and I think it's just fantastic for Summerland. And we just want to seek your input tonight, provide you this update, and make sure we're all going in the same direction with our thoughts for the preservation plan for Hunters Hill. When the neighborhood plan was adopted, the OCP set in place the land use designation that permits a maximum build-out at a gross density of 1 lot per hectare. Subdivision design work on that basis envisioned the same country residential housing, but it's planned in ways that can better preserve open space and better protect environmental values. This is how we can dedicate those lands for protection and preservation. There's a shot of Hunters Hill in context from Giant's Head Park across the town of Summerland. So we looked at different smart growth planning tools, and the one that jumped out very clearly was the notion to preserve the open space while directing new housing away from agricultural lands in Summerland. The Summerland Planning Department has indicated that we need to rezone to accomplish those objectives. And this rezoning stays true to the OCP-approved density for the property because we are not seeking a density increase. And so this rezoning does not require an application to amend the Summerland OCP, and it does not require that we are within the urban growth area designation either. What the rezoning does do is give Summerland a much larger open land preservation area, which is actually pretty much double what the approved neighborhood plan has already envisioned. So the rezoning will enable cluster subdivision design, which basically is just the simple grouping of residential housing onto a smaller portion of the development site in order to then enlarge the preservation and protection remainder areas that don't get touched by the housing. In our discussion with planners and environmental experts, they've pointed out some of the obvious benefits that you can see on the screen by way of cluster rezoning for Hunters Hill. That's a picture of the Hunters Hill bee tree. We all want this project to be a real positive for the town. And that's why we've applied for cluster rezoning. And we wanted your feedback instead of going straight ahead with a subdivision application as per the approved neighborhood plan. That is a mule deer buck. Smart growth cluster rezoning will significantly enhance the wildlife corridor preserve, which is already approved in the Hunters Hill neighborhood plan. The rezoning application will see almost half of the entire Hunters Hill project being protected from development. I hike that land a lot, and I see wetlands that shrivel and disappear when there's no water. But the environmental professionals know the value that even just one wetland as a result of the enhancement strategy in our rezoning effort can bring. And it's significant. It's a real value to the town of Summerland. So based on your feedback, we are moving forward with the rezoning application to the Advisory Planning Committee, where we will formally detail the cluster rezoning and preservation strategies outlined for Hunters Hill that go above and beyond the already approved neighborhood plan. This is no ordinary opportunity. This is a Summerland firm developing a large acreage, non-ALR property in a sustainable and environmentally friendly manner. And we are donating almost half of our property, 50% of our land, to ensure the preservation and protection for generations to come. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask them of me. Otherwise, we're preparing for the APC, and we look forward to formally presenting this back to council for debate and discussion sometime real soon, and hopefully council approval. But we did want to put it forward to you tonight and make sure we're all on the same page, pointing in the same direction, that if you think this is a good step towards that property, or if you think that maybe not. If you had any questions. We've been at it for over a decade, and we want to do something really great here. And we will need your support when it's time for you to vote in favor of the Hunters Hill rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Pleasure.
I think what we'll do is, let the normal process proceed. I appreciate the presentation this evening. We've got a good idea of where your thoughts are going, and so we'll let you move ahead through the process, and
Excellent.
We'll see what happens as we go through the steps.
Thanks. Well, we're looking forward to it. Sorry?
It's okay, carry on.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're looking forward to it, and if you had any questions, you can always contact me otherwise as well.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Wonderful,
that.
thank you.
Bye now. an agenda as long as it is, the agenda's not terribly long, but there's a heck of a lot of content. So we're definitely dealing just with our computers. So just bear with me for a minute. Okay, where are we at here? Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, we're at item 6.1, comments from the members of the public. And I must make it clear that there's no comments to be made regarding the subject of the just held public hearing. It'll be on other topics that are highlighted in the agenda. So has anybody got any comments they'd like to make? You have 2 minutes to speak to any item that's highlighted in the agenda. Yes, Mr. Ely. Come to the mic, please, sir.
Did you say comments to items that are on the agenda or off the agenda?
These are on the agenda, and they're highlighted on the agenda. Comments that are anything to do with a subject that may not be on the agenda is reserved for the 15 minutes at the end of the meeting prior to adjournment.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I know it's a long time, but we had to break it up somehow, so. Any questions at all? Okay, thank you. We'll be moving ahead now to my report. As long as, I suppose I could take that as a hint. It's not really that bad. The extreme hot weather over the last number of weeks has created devastating wildfires throughout British Columbia. The fire chief is very concerned about our local tinder dry situation. I approved his desire to close Giant's Head Park to vehicular traffic and the closure of trails on Cartwright Mountain and Conkle Mountain to use by any motorized vehicles such as dirt bikes and quads. The rationale is that hot exhaust pipes can ignite tinder dry brush and grasses. In addition, we are asking the public to be extremely careful with cigarettes. We've had a lot of lightning, but human-caused fires are still very high on the list of causes of wildfires. This was brought to home this morning, for example, as an old fifth wheel caught fire adjacent to the base of Giant's Head near the industrial area with grasses and pines nearby. Fortunately, with the rain we had over the weekend, nothing came of it other than the fact that the fire department got in there and dealt with it, and it was out very briefly, but it was close to grasses and surrounding pine trees, so it was not something they wanted to treat lightly. Throughout British Columbia, the other concern is water. The province has announced a level 4 drought advisory for the South Coast and Nicola area. The Okanagan is at level 3, and the situation here is under review. The recent rain has certainly assisted the firefighting effort, but has not substantially changed dry conditions if very hot weather returns as it is supposed to. All areas in the interior have been asked to reduce consumption by 30%. Here in Summerland, you've probably noticed our signboards out indicating, not that it's a new topic that we've got hot weather, but that we would like people to initiate some reduction in their use of water. We have a very unique situation here in Summerland. The raising of our main reservoir, Thirsk Dam, doubled our storage in Thirsk Dam. We are now sitting at approximately 80% of our full storage for our combined dam capacity. At this point, the Director of Works and Utilities advised that we urge residents to do just as I mentioned, to reduce consumption. So that's where we sit. We're anticipating that if hot weather returns as it's supposed to, that the province will have an ongoing review of the drought status throughout the rest of British Columbia. One of the major concerns is the status of stream flow for salmon. Not only has there been very little flow, but of course the water temperatures have been getting excessive. One of the cutoff temperatures apparently is about 25 degrees C, and it's been higher than that. So they're very concerned about what is happening in the stream environment. To go along a little further, with our other regional directors, I had the honor of attending the second anniversary of the regional district's protocol agreement with the Penticton Indian Band. This was very significant, as such an agreement creates an environment of consultation and partnership on topics of mutual concern. Also, this last Saturday, I welcomed the teams, baseball teams, softball teams, that and threw out the first ball of the seniors ladies provincial tournament. For anybody who really cares, I actually threw a decent ball and did not embarrass myself by wildly missing or injuring anybody. I had this vision of myself getting the ball probably 30 feet or so above the catcher, or actually hanging onto it too long and injuring somebody behind me. So, but I actually managed to do it okay. These ball tournaments bring a great number of participants to our community, and they did have a great time. I met some of them down at the market later, and they were enjoying themselves very much. Speaking of the market, the Sunday market is proving to be a fantastic success. This last Sunday, my wife Claire and I attended, and it was buzzing with residents and visitors. Booths and retail stores indicated very good activity, so I'd like to extend kudos to Rotary and the market manager, Laurel Burnham. So that's my report.
Just following up on the mayor's information on fires, we are at level 3 moderate right now. However, we're expecting the temperature predicted to be quite high for the end of the week, so we're looking at level 4 or 5 by the end of by Wednesday. And as I think the mayor said, the campfire ban is continuing, and the Giants Road closure is remaining in place because of that expectation of it increasing again. Just that staff is meeting with Fortis on Wednesday. We did inform council that we would be having a follow-up from the power outage, so that will be happening on Wednesday with senior management from Fortis, and we'll report to council subsequent to that. And the submission for our minister appointments for UBCM requests need to be done by the end of this week, so that'll be a focus now that I'm back from being away.
Thank you. So, do we have any resolutions brought forward from our closed session, corporate officer?
No.
So there's nothing to be done there. Okay, we're moving forward to 9.2, our Busker Street policy. And who would you like to speak to that, Celia?
I think that Mr. Derek.
Okay, Mr. Deniger.
I appear to have written the report.
You better speak to it.
I don't think there's too much to say other than to say that we engaged with the public and business community as widely as we could. We had the help of the Chamber of Commerce in getting out a request for information and feedback from the public. They were great. Emailed out everybody in Summerland, I think. Used social media and so forth. We gathered all that input. It's pretty good feedback, and we've integrated that feedback as best we could into the proposed policy. Trying to take a balanced approach to having some livelihood downtown, as well as some limits within reason.
Thank you. Council, any questions of our corporate officer? Councilor Holmes.
Thank you. So the fee for the year would be $25. So what would we do for this year, being that we're already at the end of July? Would it be prorated, or how would that work?
We could certainly prorate it if that's council's wish. That would be a typical thing when you bring a policy in mid-year like that we'd look at something like $10 or however we wish to do it.
Okay.
Councilor Peak.
I had a couple of word changes I was going to look at. I don't know whether it's necessary to do them in the meeting or if I could just give them to Jeremy afterwards. It's sort of a will or a may on.
So they're typos, they're not change of intent?
They're housekeeping items,
Okay.
so I think I'll just bring them to
Yeah,
Jeremy
bring them to
after the fact.
Jeremy after, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, Councilor Holmes.
Just ready to move it.
Okay, would you please bring the recommendation forward?
I'd like to move that council approve and adopt policy 100.14, Busker Street Street Performer Policy.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councilor Carlson, thank you. Any further discussion at this point? Councillor Holmes.
So I'd just like to thank staff for getting this done so quickly. I think it's a really simple and straightforward policy, and it's a really simple and straightforward form that we have to fill out, both for administrative purposes and for the for potential buskers to fill out. So I think that's great. I just want to make a couple comments regarding some of the recommendations that were not incorporated into the policy, which I agree with. Is one that, you know, prohibiting all busking street performances. I don't think that really helped, you know, create a vibe to downtown, which is what we're trying to do. And then on the flip of that, with some people asking that we have no regulation of busking at all, and at the same time, that doesn't really help the musicians because you know, anybody can then go tell them to buzz off. So the policy is, I think, a busking policy is actually a statement that we encourage busking in the community, and we encourage street performers, and so that's so now I think it's up to the local musicians and with the support of local businesses to go out there and liven up our streets. Thank you.
Councillor Peak.
I commend my fellow councillor bringing this forward. I think staff have done a very good job. I'm also pleased that this doesn't apply if you're having a festival or a market or a parade. I think that's important as well, that they can actually do their own bookings and decide where their performers will be.
Okay, thank you
you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, call for the vote, please. All in favor? Thank you. The motion is carried. On to 9.3. Please, this is the Juniper, Miltmore, Willow, and Tate Sewer Project Tender Award. CAO?
This is a fairly straightforward one. It's, we put the tenders out and the results are here. This is the lowest bid. If you have any questions, both our CFO and Director of Public Works Utilities is here if there are any questions.
Okay.
Are here.
Councillor Carlson.
Just on how do we enforce a quality standard if someone is underbid the others? I just want to make sure that they're going to do as good of a job as the others may have done.
Mr. Mayor, we have worked with Superior before. In fact, they did the Phase 3 of Prairie Valley Road, and their quality of workmanship is not a concern. We had a little bit of difficulty getting them to do some deficiencies at the end, but they were just busy, and we'll make sure we can nip that in the bud this time. But their quality of work is fine. We don't foresee any problem.
Thank you. Any other questions of staff? Councillor Peak?
Not a question. It was nice to see the spread in the bids. Certainly, I think we've got a very good price, and I think that will be a help for those that are paying for this. I'm wondering how soon we start this. How soon will this go?
Mr. Mayor, we should be able to award it fairly quickly, and it just depends on their schedule. I know they moved back into town now. They were working out of town, and they are back into town doing some other work, and so we're hoping that we'll get it done by the end of the year, for sure. So,
Thank you.
Any other questions of staff, of our Public Works Director or CAO, or CFO for that matter, considering it's dollars? Hearing none, could someone please bring the motion forward? Councillor Barkwell?
Move that the tender for the construction of the Juniper, Miltmore, Willow, Tate Sewer Project be awarded to Superior Excavating Services Limited in the amount of $397,295.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Peak, thank you. Any further discussion? Just make a comment that I think, I guess was a little bit addressed already, that this is considerably below our original pricing thoughts. So I think this should be a significant thing for the residents in terms of the overall cost. So not that it's, you know, it's certainly quite a bit less money. In fact, it's getting close to, well, not quite half, but we were looking at roughly $700,000 originally as a top line figure. So this certainly puts it in a better frame. So if there are no more discussion, Can we have all in favor, please? Thank you. Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Okay, CAO, we're on to 10.1, correspondence. Anything to be said there, or do we just move ahead?
No, we would just move ahead unless any of council has anything they want pulled
Okay. To discuss.
to discuss, yeah.
So council, you've probably or should have looked at the items. Have you got anything you want to address specifically? Or can we just move ahead? Councillor Carlson.
Just in relation to the skateboard park, it's nice to see it on there and that we're going to move forward on it. I've spoken with a few local youth who are looking forward to using a new facility, both for BMX and for skateboarding, so it's good.
Yeah, I'd like to, since Mr. Robson is here, thank you for attending, and thank you for the letter of extending our opportunity for the funding. So that's great. I know I get the same young fellow at Nestor's asking me, when's that thing gonna get started? And I've been running into that a number of times around town, so they really would like to see something happen. So we're gonna be moving ahead as quickly as we can with the school board and making sure something happens. So I appreciate your work, Mr. Robson, to that end. Anything else? Councillor Booth.
I just wanted to say a little bit about Barbara Thorburn's resignation from the Culture Planning Task
Yeah.
Force. Not that particularly, but just recognizing that all of the contributions that she's made in her volunteer efforts through the years for the city of, or district of Summerland. And I'm hoping that something will be sent to her from, you know,
Yeah.
from representation from the council.
Yes, we have sent a
Thank you.
letter out to Ms. Thorburn, and I'm quite sure that Barbara has just going to have more things on her plate. It's not the end of her participation in the community, I'm sure. So we'll see more activity. Anything else, Councillor
Can I
Holmes?
just add to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, I've been away, so I didn't hear about Barbara's resignation until when I got back, and so it came as a surprise to me, but I understand she's out of town, so I haven't had a chance to talk to her, but she'll be sorely missed on the task force. She, you know, the task force was really her idea originally, and I don't think there's too many people in this community who have done more for cultural development than her, and I've worked with her on the task force and previously on the cultural committee, and I'm sure she'll still be out there helping us.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we'll move forward then to 11.1. Oh, actually, we have to receive this. Could I have a motion to receive the attached correspondence, please? Councillor Peak, seconder. Councillor Booth, thank you. All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, now we're moving to 11.1, Development Services Reports, Building Regulation Contravention, 1517 Johnson Road.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This site's located on Johnson Street, just east of Cordy Avenue in the Toe Creek neighborhood. A building permit was issued in January 2008 for the construction of essentially a second dwelling on the site, which was allowed under the provisions of our former building bylaw, where you could build a second dwelling on a property that was large enough, provided you posted a $25,000 letter of credit to ensure that the building was brought into compliance once the construction was complete. And there are a number of ways that can be done, either by removing the original dwelling, by removing the kitchen and adjoining it to the property and making it, or joining it to the house and making it a secondary dwelling or a secondary suite, or just part of the larger house, or even possibly a carriage house. In this particular case, in 2010, it came to our attention that the building permit had expired and there had been no request for a final inspection, so we went out and had a look. There were three final inspections conducted in 2010, 2011, and 2012. There were a number of deficiencies on the property, and the building still did not comply with the single dwelling requirement of our bylaw. And we find ourselves now, 7 years have passed since the building permit has expired. Our building inspector's been out again to the site. It came back to our attention as the property is now up for sale. And so Now it is time, we believe, to get a Section 57 notice placed on the property. The owners had ample time to correct the deficiencies and appears unwilling to do so. So the building inspector has attached his report to the staff report and is recommending that the Section 57 notice be filed.
So just to ask, our building inspector is not here this evening to address this at all, so you've dealt with it?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor. He's on holidays. We have his report. I've spoken to him at length, and we're comfortable with the contents
Okay,
of the report.
thank you very much. So, questions by council or staff?
The property owner,
Okay, is the property owner here, please?
if he wishes to speak.
If he wishes to speak, there's no problem. I gather is the property owner here at all? I gather not. So, council, any questions of staff regarding this item? Councillor Barkwell.
Yes, so it said in the report.
Use your
there's-
mic, please.
Oh, sorry. It said in the report there's a $25,000 bond on the property.
That's correct.
So when is that bond forfeited? And what happens if the property, with it if the property is sold?
Well, at the moment, it's what's called a letter of credit that's held by a registered bank and given to us. And my understanding is there's a small annual fee to maintain the letter of credit. The district can call on that at their whim and then receive the $25,000 cash. Our experience is when those letter of credits are actually called and we get the cash, that it generally speeds up compliance with issues. I understand in this case it's a bit more complicated and there's estate issues at hand. So we're not actually certain what will happen. We're going to be looking into it, but I expect we'll be cashing the letter of credit and trying to get compliance.
In which case, if you did put a Section 57 on and we cashed the 57,000 letter of credit and we did get compliance, then it would be removed.
And would the $25,000 be returned once they were in compliance?
Generally speaking, it's to get compliance, so if the bylaw contraventions are removed, the Section 57 would be removed and the cash would be returned.
Thank you. Councillor Peak, any question?
If I could just have a clarification, the new addition is not attached to the existing residence?
It is attached to the existing residence, but my understanding is that the kitchen hasn't been decommissioned, so essentially there's two dwellings and it exceeds the size allowed for a secondary dwelling or a secondary suite, and it also exceeds the size for a carriage house, so it does not comply with our rules.
On either?
There are also some stair and other building code issues as well as the second dwelling problem, so there's a number of contraventions.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Would someone like to bring the motion forward then, please? Councillor Carlson.
I move that the corporate officer be directed to file a notice in the Land Title Office pursuant to Section 57(3) of the Community Charter on the title of Lot 1 DL 488 ODYD Plan 3719 located at 1517 Johnson Road, noting that a building is in contravention of the BC Building Code and Zoning Bylaw 2000-450, and that further information regarding the contraventions may be inspected at the municipal hall.
Thank you. Is there a seconder, please? Councillor Holmes.
Just a slight correction, I think it's Johnson Street, not Johnson Road.
Yeah. Is that true? Right, okay.
It says Johnson Street there.
Okay. That's fine. A seconder, please? We did get it. Thank you, Councillor Holmes. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Motion, all in favor? Thank you. Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Okay, we're moving forward to item 12, staff and other reports. First of all, 12.1, financial results. CEO, we move to our CFO? Yes, you may speak first. Go to Ms. Coates.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The report you have before you tonight are the financial results to June 30th. There are schedules attached to the report for each of the funds, general, water, sewer, and electric, and also listings of the capital and operating projects. So the schedules comprise the core budget activities, and the listings are the funding envelopes for capital and operating projects, so the one-time type of events. And they have notes on them to give you information about the status of the projects. So my comment generally would be that these financial results are as you would expect at June 30th. There really is nothing of significant note to bring attention to in terms of variances or things that aren't going as we would expect. I did give some explanation in the report that revenues, especially property taxation revenues, aren't earned equally throughout the year. So on the revenue side in the general fund, we see that we're close to 86% of budget, even though we're only to June 30th. And that's because our property taxation revenue is recorded in May when we send out our tax notices. So revenues are as expected, expenses as well. I just would bring council's attention to the statement in the report that these results are subject to review. We do a cutoff at June 30th to the best of our ability, but it certainly isn't of the same level of review that we will get at year end when we have more time for cutoff and the departments are able to put their focus on that for us. When we ask right now for operating departments to, say, get invoices off their desk and get them through to us to get them recorded for this kind of work, they're busy out on the roads, busy out in the parks, doing those kinds of activities at this time of year. So this isn't their main focus. But having said that, we do as best as we can. We gathered as much information as possible. We did some significant accruals for wages and, say, our policing contract. So the results are as complete as we could make them, but they are subject to review and there could be changes before the end of the year.
Thank you.
And one more comment. The staff recommendation should actually be worded that the financial results report dated June 30th, 2015 be received for information. So if that motion is made, that's the staff recommendation, that's how it should read.
Any other questions, Council, of our CFO? Councillor Barkle.
Yes, I note that the water revenue is right at 50%. For domestic water, which is now based on the metered rates. Is that on an accrual basis, that's the bills that went out for June 30th, or is it? Yeah?
Yes, that's correct. It's the revenue that we have billed to the end of June 30th, and that would be consumption to June.
Okay.
Yes.
Anecdotally, a lot of people have been saying that despite their conservation efforts, they feel they're paying more, but this would sort of disprove that comment, wouldn't it?
Well, and I would bring your attention to the actual water fund listing because the parcel tax is part of that revenue total. So of course, when you look at the two components, you can see that the budget for water rates in total is, I'm sorry, you're just talking about domestic, aren't you?
Yeah, page 93,
I was looking
think
at
has
the
the
full
detail.
thing. Sorry about that. Get on the same page as you. Yes, you're right. And because we haven't billed the irrigation bills, which are going to be going out this week, yes, that's correct. And of course, the water parcel tax is fully billed back in May. Yes. So your comment's correct that it's right on budget. It really isn't showing that people are paying more than what we had expected.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, would someone, now can we have that motion read or corporate officer get it?
That the financial reports, that the financial results report dated June 30th, 2015 be received for information, just for greater clarity.
Councillor Peak, thank you. Seconded, Councillor Carlson. Any further discussion? I'd just like to say that it's good to see this sort of midterm report. Thank you very much for that.
Welcome.
It's nice to see we're sort of where we should be. And as you pointed out, the detail will come later, but I think it gives us a good indication that we're moving through the year as we expect to. Thank you very much. So, all in favor? Thank you. Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Okay, on item 12.2, BC Transit Future Plan. Please, CAO.
I'll speak to that. We had the presentation from Transit last council meeting, and they had asked that council endorse the Transit Future Plan. So there's a short report here attached. It's a planning document, and it's looking at regionalization. One thing that I would caution council, this is a very much a document that's, it doesn't have a lot of concrete to it right now, that there's certain risks involved in becoming a regional service, but there's also many benefits. The real test for this, and the part that council is going to need to pay attention to, will be in the upcoming governance committee. That's when the decisions are going to start being made. Right now, transit is new to council in general. We haven't had too much time to even talk about the questions that council brought up last week, like who sets the rates, how can we, how is that going, how can we amend the schedules, and it's really, council has much more control of that than I think council's aware of right now. It's less in transit's role than it is in ours. And you can lose that with regionalization if you're not paying attention to the government model. And there's a number of different governance models, and none of that's decided yet. So it's just a reminder that as transit moves forward, I and my staff will stay very engaged with making sure that we're aware of the steps, and council will have the opportunity to have participation on that committee. And that's where it'll be very important as the details start getting sorted out. At this point in time, those details aren't decided yet.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Peak.
Thank you. I appreciate the cautionary note because we are new at dealing with this particular structure, and there could be costs incurred going down the road. So the governance model will be important, and we will have a committee member, we will have a council member on that committee. But, so I'm pleased that you have some background on that and are speaking to it.
Any other questions or comments? Actually, questions of staff at this point. Hearing none, I'd like someone to bring the resolution forward, please. Councillor Traynor.
That council endorse the Okanagan-Similkameen Transit Future Plan and direct staff to work with BC Transit on implementing the plan.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Peak, thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Barker? No? You would have cost you money if you were in a, selling something.
It's not an auction.
Yeah. At any rate, only comment I'd like to make is, yes, it's going to be important for us to continue to be engaged, because our ridership has been high in a new service, and we've been almost double the Ladysmith service, which was brought online about the same time. So I think there's a tremendous pent-up demand, and we have to make sure that we look after Summerland's interests, and not just between here and Penticton, but up and down the valley. So it's going to be very important that we do a good job for Summerland as we go forward with the Transit Future Plan. So I'm actually quite excited about how that might move, and I'm kind of impatient because I'd like to see it move a lot more quickly than what I think Transit's got in mind. So anyway, all in favor? Thank you. Motion is carried. Okay, new business. We're on to 13.1, Summerland Yacht Club Special Occasion License. CAO.
I think Mr. Deniger will speak to that one as well.
Thank you.
It's a pretty straightforward one. The liquor control laws require that council endorse basically the special occasion license. Specifically in this case, because it will be a public special occasion license. It'll be on our property in a park.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Councillor Peak.
Do we make application on that permit, or does the requester make application on that permit?
The requester will be inputting the application on their brand new liquor website, and will be providing documentation of the support or not.
Thank you for that clarification. Appreciate it.
Any other questions? Councillor Carlson.
Is this the first Ogopogo bathtub race in Summerland?
You bet.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough one, I anticipate.
Are you gonna participate?
No, I was just gonna say, I anticipate some of our younger council members will take it upon themselves to.
Can you make it out of
put
cardboard
in
and
an
use some of
entry.
that duct tape?
I can't fit into a
Excuses, excuses.
I just take showers, so you won't see me. Sorry, it's enough of that, too much information. Okay, any other questions before we move ahead? Thank you. Someone please bring the recommendation forward. Councillor Booth.
I move that council endorse the application by the Summerland Yacht Club for a special occasion license for the sale and serving of liquor at the Ogo Pogo Bathtub Race event at Peach Orchard Park on August the 22nd, 2015.
Seconder, please. Councillor Trainer, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, just hope it's not too wavy. It's actually a pretty long event there and back, so it's gonna be quite something to see. Okay, no further discussion. All in favor? Thank you. Motion is carried. Okay, we're on to 14, number 14, bylaws. And the bylaw 2014-002, official community plan, 214, and CAO.
I think that if council has any questions, they could direct them to staff at this point in time, but this is the bylaw that's being considered. Council can consider it for third reading and adoption tonight following the public hearing earlier today.
Okay, Councillor Carlson, any questions of staff at this point?
Yeah, I think this is a question. If we remove West Prairie Valley from any urban growth, future growth area, and then go ahead and have a consultation with the community, and the community determines that that's where they'd like to see more housing and other things going on, is it possible to put it back in?
Absolutely, absolutely to do an OCP amendment at any time if you have consultation and go through the process. You can change that.
I think if I could just throw this in really quickly, the rationale for doing things in this manner was to respond to concerns that there hadn't been adequate consultation on the Prairie Valley West lands. So hence we're leaving that more or less as a phase 2 where we will engage all the necessary groups and people and the municipality residents in that discussion. And we hope to have that discussion fairly soon. So there's no intent to leave it, but we're of the opinion that there had not been adequate discussion, so it will be left out of this discussion at this point. Councillor Holmes.
Just a few questions. Just for clarification, does all land in Summerland have to be designated something? Does every square inch of this municipality have to have a designation?
Mr. Mayor, yes. Every part of the plan within the boundary of Summerland, if you're going to have an OCP, has to be designated something. So, yes.
And who created the designations?
The designations in this particular area, the only designations that are changing are the Summerland Hills area and the Summerland Vistas area, or Jersey Lands area, and those designations were made by staff with the original bylaw submission in response to the process.
Is that what you implied?
It's not what I implied. I
Oh,
mean,
sorry.
the actual, RD this, RD that. I mean, who actually, is there a standard provincial designations, or is it something that we're in control of ourselves, the designations? Where did these designations come from?
The general designations are done, they're completely in the hands of council. They can make whatever ones they want. Generally, you have residential, you have commercial, you have industrial, and various permutations of each, but it's up to council to do whatever they want, and there's no limitation.
So, I mean, this may sound silly, but it's not intended to be. So can you have like a TBD, to be determined designation?
I'm not sure about that one. I'd have to look into that.
That's basically what an open, I mean,
That's what-
that's basically what an open zone is without a zone that doesn't have any restrictions, basically, to
Carry on.
some extent.
Councillor Holmes?
But you have to have a public consultation process in order to come to the conclusion of having an open land.
You would,
So-
even with a TBD, if that was allowed, if you had something called TBD that was just unspecified, you would have to go through a consultation to get it there. So any land has to have consultation on how to get it to that designation.
I think for clarification, our planner might address this, that if I understand correctly, the designation of open land and the green area that's designated at this point as agriculture was a fallback position that had basically had previous discussion quite some time ago that would bring it to that point?
That's correct.
Okay. So in other words, what I see is we're going back to a very base level in that area to leave the discussion open for the community as we go forward. So as was pointed out a minute ago, if the community decided that they wanted that to be housing and sewer and so on down the road, well then that would be something that the community could decide. This is entirely up to the community's discussion and consultation. There's certainly been some anticipations around it, but as far as we're concerned as a select committee and as council, the discussion around the disposition of West Prairie Valley lands has not had adequate consultation. So we propose to do that and make sure that the public has input, full input, to determine what their desires may be for Prairie Valley West at this time. Councillor Peak.
There seemed to be concern from the gallery in the open public meeting around a proposal for a development at the Glenfir School property. This may not be related to this particular thing, but if there could just be a short address of that.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the property in question, if I can get my mouse to work here, which it isn't going to, is the green area at the bottom end of the screen, sort of in the center. There we go. So that area is what we're talking about. That area is currently designated as low-density residential in the community plan, which will not change. It's currently zoned RSD3, which is a residential zone, which won't change with whatever happens tonight. And there has been interest in the past in developing that property. There is no application currently to develop that property, although there has been some interest expressed. So under the current designation and the current zoning, it could develop if somebody were to acquire the property the district was interested in selling. It would comply with the zoning and the OCP designation. So that is where it stands as of the moment, and there is no development application currently in process for that.
Thank you. So if I could, just for my own clarification and generally speaking, the RSD3 designation for that Victoria Road South area, which is immediately south of the Glenfir School, has had that RSD zoning in place for how long? Since when, roughly?
Since at least 1996, and could be prior. We don't have, I don't
Okay.
have information going back.
And so that land actually abuts the Little Giant's Head Park area, but is not part of the park, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So any concerns that people have, this land has already been zoned quite a long time ago for residential use. It abuts the park, but it is not part of the park. We own lands as a separate parcel that also abuts the park, but is not part of the park, correct?
That's correct.
So, I wanted to clarify that because there's been considerable discussion by some about the trail activity through there, and that sort of detail is what is dealt with in any kind of neighborhood planning of any proposal that may come forward. Is that correct, more or less?
If
Well,
they,
clean it up for me, but that's what I'm trying to say.
if they brought in a development application that is allowed under the current zoning, it wouldn't come to council at all. It would simply come as a subdivision application, and if it met the rules, it could be approved.
I see.
Subject to the district agreeing to participate and sell their property, of course. So if they wanted to rezone or get a greater density or some different thing, then there would be an application, it would go through the normal process.
Public
and all
process?
neighbors would
A
be-
public process?
A public process, that's correct.
Okay.
But because the district owns lands that are required for that purpose, the district would be involved, or council would be involved.
We would be involved,
Yes.
yes. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that because, you know, it's a good biking area, et cetera, and people use the trail through there. And I think we'd be very interested in being creative and ensuring that a good many of the amenities aspect of that area would be retained. So, Councillor Boot, please.
There was another concern that was brought up by a number of people in the gallery too, and that had to do with the impact on the environment in sensitive areas. So that will, as usual, be part of, there'll be an environmental assessment as part of the subdivision approval process.
That's correct. It's in our environmentally sensitive development permit area, so to
Right.
get that level of approval, they would require an environmental assessment.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, any further questions of staff, please? Thank you. Would someone like to please bring this bylaw forward? Councillor Barkle.
I move that bylaw 2014-002, a bylaw to adopt an official community plan for the District of Summerland, be read a third time and be adopted.
Do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Trainer, thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Holmes.
I remain torn. I understand that basically for Prairie Valley West, you know, we have two legal options of what we can do with that land right now. It can either remain designated as Summerland's golf course, or it can be designated agricultural. And it seems to me the select committee kind of chose the lesser of two evils here. If we designate that land agricultural, and I understand, given recent history in this community, why some people would be nervous about that. And I understand, you know, developers need that certainty that the OCP provides, but it's more important people have certainty that the council is being open and transparent. And I think there could be suspicions, whether rightly or wrongly, that by designating that agricultural without a proper public consultation process, that something's trying to go on through the back door, which isn't. I know that's not the case, but that's a perception.
Okay, can I clarify that for
Yeah.
you? Okay, the reason that we're doing this in this manner is that we realize that there has not been a full consultation process for Prairie Valley West. This is a designation that is not written in stone for Prairie Valley West at all. The area that is green right now is an area that was arrived at with some initial consultation at some point, and that's where we have to reside at this point in order to move forward. But that's not to say, as I pointed out a little while ago, that the public may decide that they wish to do something else with that land other than designated agricultural. It could be anything at all. So, you know, it can be a mixture of things, and one of the reasons why I wanted it not to be in the ALR specifically was to allow for the options for the community to pursue that. You know, and I don't want to go any further with that, but I think the point is that it's an open slate for the community to decide what's going to happen in Prairie Valley West as we sit now. And what was decided in terms of the urban growth area vis-a-vis South Victoria, Deer Ridge, et cetera, that we see on the map here, was the basis of a good part of the discussion that took place over the last year and a half. So any further, yes, you had a question?
Yeah, then I think we're putting the cart before the horse a bit here. I don't think, I think we need to establish that before we can pass it as anything. I don't think we need a full-blown, you know, where do we grow from here, a consultation process, but we need a consultation process that addresses that area, that specific area.
Okay. Thank you. Councilor Carlson.
So doing it this way it seems backwards to me. If we're going to now go and talk to the public about West Prairie Valley, and they're already annoyed with us for doing this the first time, are they going to even show up? would be my first wonder. If people see that we've made this decision and now we're asking them for their input, but we didn't ask them before. Anyways, I'm thrilled that we're not putting ALR land into the urban growth area, but I also think we don't have this right yet. And I don't think that all of the options were considered in the initial consultation phases back in 2013. And I don't think they've been considered at this stage either. I think there could be more and probably some better land to include in the urban growth area if we take this West Prairie Valley out. However, they haven't necessarily been engineered and mapped, and we haven't talked about them yet.
Yes, Councillor Barkle.
I shared Councillor Holmes' concerns, and we had a very informative discussion with the planner, Mr. McIntosh, and he alleviated my concerns a little bit, and I can understand the public thinks that maybe the designating this land as agriculture means that that's what it's going to be. But I also think that we can't go on discussing every corner of the community forever, and that we need to get on with approving a plan, and then we go forward with the consultation for this particular corner of the community, which is going to take an extensive consultation process that is not going to be done in 6 months. I see a 2-year process, and we can't hold up the to do it properly and to draw up some plans and have the input and revise the plan. So we can't hold up the official community plan for another 2 years while we talk about this particular corner of the community. We all know that it's there for us to decide what we're going to do, and now we've got a chance to go ahead and work on that particular area and decide what we're going to do and incorporate all the ideas and suggestions that the community has for that area.
Thank you. Councillor Peak.
I'm comfortable with where we've landed in terms of recommending for an OCP. Also, as Councillor Barkwell said, I agree that we need to get on with the business and to have a solidified OCP to work from. It's always a work in progress, and there will be businesses and there will be owners that come to us with ideas and plans en route to our discussions as we go forward into the future.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Traynor.
If we do move forward with this tonight, do we have any idea when we would enter the next phase of consultation?
Well, I think I've got every intention of moving relatively quickly. I think probably we may wait until we've got into the fall period, which is only a month away. So that's what I anticipate. So we're not going to waste any time. Okay, thank you. Okay. Councillor Boot.
I've been hearing the concerns, and I share those concerns, but having sat on the select committee and had spent probably more time with our director of planning than he would have liked, I feel that we are at a position now where it's time to move forward, and that, you know, regrettably, this isn't perfect, but I feel we're taking the best bits and pieces that we can in order to get this part done so we can move on to the next phase of consultation.
Thank you.
I think it's just time to, you know, let's move forward.
Thank you. Are we ready for the vote then, please?
We are.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. See 2 opposed. Thank you. Motion is carried. Okay, we're on to 14.2. Bylaw 215-018, 4816 Nixon Road, local sewer service area. CAO, move that to our planner, or?
This one is just an adoption, so.
Okay. Just go straight ahead. Okay, would I have somebody bring this motion forward, please? Councillor Barkwell, thank you. Do you have a seconder? Councillor Carlson, thank you very much. All in favor? Well, actually, wait a minute. Any discussion on this at all? I don't think there really is, because we're moving ahead with to proceed.
I do have a quick,
Okay, go ahead.
we just earlier in this meeting awarded a contract. Will something similar happen with this, or is it at the cost of the developer? Or will they be dealing with all of that?
The construction work, the development construction work is at the cost of the developer.
Okay, so it won't be the same as when we had a similar petition sewer situation just now?
We've done the petition
Yeah.
at last meeting, this is just adopting.
Right, but when it comes to actually doing the contract work to get it from where it is to where it needs to go, we've just put Superior for one. Will we do something similar on this one?
No,
That's the
okay.
developer. Thanks.
Do you have any comment from the planner on that at all?
No, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions at all? Someone like to bring that forward, please?
We did.
Did we all do that? Sorry, I lost my place there. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Motion is carried. Okay, we're on to councillor reports. Start with Councillor Trainer.
I don't really have too much to report. I guess I just wanted to thank the rest of council for supporting the smoking bylaw that we are going to be looking into 2 weeks ago. I really appreciate that, and I've got some really good feedback from people. So thank you. And that's about it. I've been out mountain biking and hiking and enjoying all of our trails, and it's great. That's why I like living here. So thank you.
Great. Councillor Barkle.
Yes. Our CAO alerted us to some reports by the Auditor General for local government who have done some audits on construction projects, capital projects, and I've been going through those reports and their new pamphlet, they call it. It's just sort of guidelines, and since we're entering into a $6-7 million construction project in Summerland ourselves, I thought it was particularly timely. I think that, so I've gone through it myself. As an auditor, I looked at the auditor's report. Maybe I'm the only one who was interested. But I think it will have to be a discussion of council, and we all need to be on top of their recommendations. There's no excuses for not doing it right now that they've presented those reports. The reports are, well, they have the benefit of hindsight, so I don't know exactly how fair all of them are, but there's lots of ways things can go wrong, and this should be of assistance, and we're lucky to have a CEO with the experience that she has that can assist to put in place the controls that we need to make this project go.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Councillor Boone.
I also have a very short report. On July the 14th, I attended the Giro Okanagan launch at Dirty Laundry Winery with the mayor. And on behalf of council, just gave a few words expressing our delight in having this new business that looks at slow tourism and includes all kinds of businesses that are already currently up and running in Summerland. And it's really bringing the European cycling industry, I guess, tourism industry, to the South Okanagan. Now, although Mr. Hotchkiss lives in Kelowna, he has targeted the South Okanagan specifically because he feels that we have absolutely the best trails possibilities and accommodations in all of Canada. So that was a huge boom for us. So thank you.
Good for someone.
Really good
Councillor
for us.
Carlson. Thank you, Councillor.
Last week there was a cooking show filmed in Summerland at Dickinson's Family Farm, and it is called Four Senses. And it's going to be on, I believe the network is AM, and it's actually caters to the visually impaired. So it was actually really neat. Dwayne Dickinson talked to the chef for a while, and they had lots of camera crew, and they were picking cherries and standing on the big ladder and stuff. So that was a lot of fun, and when it actually comes out, we'll make sure that the links get put out into the big world.
Thank you. Councillor Holmes.
Thank you. Actually, I've been away on holidays, but I would just like to say that a quick update on the Cultural Plan Task Force that we're about to start, or roll out the community consultation process, and so just get ready, Summerland. You don't really know what's about to hit you.
Good. Councillor Peak.
Yes, I was also working with the Cultural Task Force and the Communication Committee. They have formulated their questionnaire and are starting to roll it out to the community, so we'll all be interested in how this comes out, and I hope the community gets well engaged in the responses that you give to us. So these are good beginnings for us all. I also attended meetings on the trail of the Okanagan, and they will be looking possibly to come to speak to council in August and do a presentation, which I'm sure you'll all be interested in, and I know that the mayor and other councillors have been following that as well. I'd also like to request, I would like to find out if staff could do a report on the soon-to-be vacated library building. I'm interested to find out when it might be vacated and a condition, to get a report that includes things like a condition of the building, finding out who the present user groups are and possible future user groups, an evaluation of the future uses for this property. I think it would be remiss if council didn't do some planning in advance of that building being available.
Good. Thank you very much.
Can I make one more point?
Okay.
May I? May I? Not can I. I know I can, but may I?
Yes, you may.
So when I was out walking the dog this morning, I noticed that the RDOS cycle route signs are up in Summerland. And I've been away. I just returned last night, and I hadn't noticed them. So that's great to see, you know. I mean, what was it, 6 weeks or 8 weeks?
You go away and you
they're
miss
there.
stuff.
I know.
That's the way it goes.
I know.
Thank you. This is a point where we can have comments and so on by the public. Got a few minutes here. Anybody like to speak? Yes, sir. Your name and address, please.
Ray Strafel. I represent the Strafel Family Farm. Address is 9731 Thompson Road. I just wanted to find out what council's response is to the letter I submitted on Friday regarding the growth projections that were outlined in the OCP, and also how council is anticipating to fulfill the needs of the seniors that are expected to increase over the next 15 years. So just if I can refresh your memory on the letter then. Within your OCP, you talk about that the average household is going to be 2.5 people per home, and you make projections that so many homes will be needed. But if you actually look at the demographics, and also you seem to get your demographics from an Okanagan-Similkameen report rather than the BC Stats website, which actually has projections on Summerland. It seems like they've inferred projections from the regional district into Summerland, which isn't accurate. And if you actually look at the BC Stats websites with the projections, you're going to be requiring 450 fewer homes, that's 3-bedroom homes, and 1,240 more 1.5-bedroom units. And the reason being is because of the baby boomers aging, you're going to have homes coming back onto the market as they downsize going into the apartment units. So whoever is going to be doing Deer Ridge, I feel sorry for them because in my opinion, they won't make any money. People will probably want some newer homes, but I think you're going to have an oversupply of homes in Summerland, 3-bedroom plus homes. And yes, you could fit all these 1.5-bedroom units perhaps within the downtown core, but you also have to provide homes that people are going to want to live in. And when we're talking about seniors or adult or assisted living, I guess my question is, where are you going to put them? And what about the population projections that I just quoted? Why are they so different than what is in the OCP?
We haven't had the opportunity to discuss the letter yet. I understand it came on Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, so we haven't had the opportunity to discuss a letter yet at this point.
So you don't have an answer, in other words?
Not yet.
Right now. No, and I think the position here is to take your comments and we'll examine your letter more closely, take your comments in hand, and as the CAO pointed out, we'll be examining it, and if it's, we'll be getting back to you and giving you some appropriate answers.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else like to speak, please? Yes.
Hi, Dorothea Atwater, Happy Valley Road. Since it hadn't come up tonight and I happened to be here, as a member of the Friends of the Summerland Library, I thought I'd just take this opportunity to thank council and staff for their support of the new library building that's coming along very well, and that you, if you haven't already, you should be receiving a report about the state of the library from the ORL this coming week. And also, I wanted to make sure that all you, the counselors and staff, if you don't already have a library card, be sure not to embarrass yourself by not having a library card by the time of the library opening, which will be before the end of the summer. Thank you.
Thank you for the warning. Any further questions? Yes, ma'am. Oh, it's Bryn.
Hi, it's Bryn White, 11118 Barclay Street, worst address ever. I just wanted to come, actually I'm here on behalf of my two teenagers who are 15 and 14 who are avid skateboarders and BMX riders. I couldn't come home tonight without asking some detailed questions about the process just going forward with respect to the skateboard park and how that might unfold, just in terms of timing and whether there'll be a committee, will you have youth representation. I think both boys are feeling pretty, I guess, disillusioned now, just given there was announcements in the past and they were really looking forward to this happening. And I have to tell you, it's not a positive experience to be a youth skateboarder or BMX biker in this community. They get verbally abused everywhere they go. And so we don't want them riding in places they shouldn't be. We need a designated, safe, great place for youth. And so I would like to go home and report to them what the process is, how they can be involved, how can we help raise the money, and get a great skateboard park in the community.
Okay, go ahead.
Staff has a meeting coming up shortly. It's not, the date's not scheduled yet, but the first step we have to do is have another meeting with the school board. Of course, the proposed location is on school board property. We have a resolution from the school board that we can use the property, but the final negotiations are subject to some work we have to do on what they call a joint use agreement for all of our facilities. We had one meeting 2 weeks ago with them, the corporate officer and myself, and there will be another one in the next 2 weeks. After that time, we'll be bringing a report to council on that meeting, and then at that point in time is when we'll determine a process of how to move forward. So it will. My guess is that it would come to council in the last meeting of August. I'd like to say in 2 weeks, but it's unlikely we'd have the information before that time, so it would be the last meeting of August to get some more direction and idea on how that would move forward.
On the
And
joint
other
use
than that,
agreement.
we haven't talked as a group on what it would look like.
Okay. I just really encourage us to, let's really try our best to get a shovel in the ground by next year. My boys are committed to helping even after they graduate. They just would love to see, they grew up in this town. They'd love to, be able to have a place to go that people aren't screaming at them. It just is not a really positive time out there. And I think this just would be such a great place for youth to go, regardless of whether they do skateboard or BMX. They come watch, parents come, it's in a very visible place. It just would be a really great project for this community. So really looking forward to helping with that.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind. We've had the encouragement, as I mentioned before, Mr. Robson's here this evening, and we appreciate their assistance to get this off the ground financially. And I've been talking, as I said earlier, to kids around town, and they can't wait to see something happen. Every time I drive by the Peachland complex, I see kids out there. I've seen them out there in the rain, for crying out loud. And they really want to get at it. And I do have to sort of keep in my mind that it's one project at a time, but I want to see a BMX track as well. So, we'll have to get one done at a time. I'm kind of impatient myself. I want to see something happen. But I think we need facilities like that for the kids, and close in the center of town where access is easy.
Great. So I'll go home and let them know within the next month they can come back and
we're doing the best we
see
can
how we're
right
doing.
now.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the public, please? From the press?
Yes, this has to do with Mr. Michal's presentation.
Yes.
I assume that he was asked not to put his sign back up this year, and if so, why?
Okay, can we address that? Perhaps our planner?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, our sign bylaw that's relatively new does not permit what's called third-party signage, which means if you want to advertise a private business, it has to be on the property where the business is taking place. And we've had a lot of people requesting directional signage over the years, and it's never been permitted in our sign bylaw. The one exception at the moment is the Bottleneck Drive Association is a group of businesses, and they have a little trail that goes through town, and they have a specific image that they use, and font and color, et cetera. So that one has been allowed at the moment. And when the highway digital sign was constructed, they have their advertisement on that particular sign. And the idea was that that would replace the third-party signage that we were getting some complaints over in the past. So that sign was removed, their advertising was put onto the digital sign, and that's where we are today.
Thank you, Mr. Planner.
Thank you.
We are going to have that meeting Thursday night. We'll be addressing the topic. So, thank you. Any other questions, John? No, nothing? Thank you very much. Can I have a motion for adjournment, please? Counselor Trainer, Counselor Booth, all in favor? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to the public.